Welcome to Galactic Grandmother Heart to Heart. My name is April, and my special guest today is Toni Ghazi. I was fortunate enough to meet Toni this past summer at the Cosmic Awakening Conference in Sedona, where he was a speaker. And you know that old saying, a smile lights up the room. That is Toni. His smile lights up the room, and he emanates a frequency of love which just is very heart opening. And he is a multi-talented being. He is a author, a teacher, a spiritual guide, and a channel for the Mantis Beings, which I'm going to let him tell his story because it's not often that you get contacted and become a spiritual channel to the degree that he is. So, welcome so much. It's such an honor to have you, Toni.
Thank you so much, April. It was absolutely magical when we met. Your energy was off the charts,
Oh,
and we exchanged numbers. She's like, "I'm gonna contact you." I'm like, "Please do. I'm going to do as well." And we did it, and here we are. Thank you, my love. I don't know how long we have today, but how long do we have? Like an hour more?
it's totally up to you.
Okay, so like we'll be
And
fluid. We'll end when we
right,
want to end.
right.
I have time, so if you have time,
I have time.
we'll let spirit lead us.
Right.
Because oh my God, my story, like where do I begin? So I'll give you a little bit of tidbit of my whole life.
Okay.
I'm new to this whole thing. I awoke precisely when COVID, I guess, manifested, right? As we
Mhm.
manifested like COVID.
Right.
So I'm Lebanese. I was born in Lebanon, and I moved to the US when I was 15 years old, straight to high school, speaking zero English. I've always stuttered. You may not recognize it, and most of your audience may not recognize it because I have a trick, and I used to really stutter bad when I was a child. So I was
Mhm.
21, 22, like very bad. I felt a prisoner of my own speech. I couldn't speak
Mhm.
when in school, like people call on me, or like teachers like call on me. I would literally go into panic mode. Like I know
Mhm.
the answers. I'm smart. I always been super studious, but I wouldn't dare to raise my hand because I just couldn't speak. It was the most traumatizing prison of your own throat, and you couldn't even get the words out. But now I understand through the Mantis beings that I needed not to speak. I needed to begin to focus my attention to energy, into spirits, and to different ways of speaking, although I
Yes.
was unconscious to it until 4 years ago or 5 years ago, like when COVID came. So I'm 45 years old. I awoke when I was 40, whenever COVID came. But it took 2 years for me to really comprehend
Mhm.
what is occurring. I grew up Christian, Greek Orthodox, and my mom is Maronite. It's like part of like the Catholic like tradition in the Middle East. So like Mother Mary, Jesus, all the saints has always been my like go-to. I would pray at night and in the morning, and I would just your like typical Christian prayers.
Mhm.
We went to church, like we weren't like fanatic religious, but we believed in Jesus. We believed in Mother Mary. There was a strong hold, or I guess if like the word is, that like there. And I make up words, by the way. I'm very cuckoo. I'm very outside of the box. Like you're gonna hear stuff that's not
Oh,
normal.
good. Right
Yeah,
down my alley.
totally. I'm like the more cuckoo I am, the more cuckoo you are. They're amazing because that means we stretch the box of
Right.
like limitation.
Mhm.
I also grew up through the Lebanese Civil War, yeah. So I experienced war, I experienced trauma, I experienced boom, 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 like bombs and explosions for 3 or 4 years. I think it like lasted. And I found out recently that because I asked my mom, because I couldn't remember my childhood for the longest time. I'm like, I have no memory past 12, like absolutely nothing, maybe a small glimpse of something. And I realized that I had suppressed a lot of like those memories because like living through and going to school, right? And like this is what I asked my mom. I said like, did we go to school like during the wars? Like, yeah, you did every single day. So I can't even imagine what we were experiencing. But just the sound like alone of bombs, of ta 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 ta, ta, like Kalashnikovs or whatever, all these, and like it's in the whole like state of like fear and a state of like trauma
Right.
of a war. I have no idea what it can do like to a child. I still don't know what it did to me, but I'm uncovering it. Like this whole year has been kind of working like with that. And I also was molested when I was a child. I was sexually molested by a family member. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't give more details there. Um, so the point that I'm saying all this, not to make you feel pity, not to make you feel any weird way, just to let you know I'm as real as you are.
Um,
I am real as you. And oftentimes people, when they hear me channel, when they see me on stage, when they hear all these accolades and all these like titles, guys, listen to me very carefully. Those are little segment of my whole life.
right,
I have the ability to get into this state where I can like bring wisdom in, but the moment I'm out of this state, I'm back to me, insecurities, trying to make money, doing this, doing that, manifest this, I don't know what else, heal this, lost, confused, am I real? Am I a fraud? All these questions come to me like it's I'm as real as you are, like as confused as you think you feel, and as from your lens, you may think, oh, I have it all like figured out. No, it's not. I have little pieces, they seem to be figured out, but then I forget. But that's the whole, like, this is our whole life. We're meant to come here to forget. Because if you remember the totality of who you are as a divine, beautiful being, you wouldn't be here to begin with. You'll be
right,
there. But we experience there, whatever there is, and we wanted to forget all that and re-experience what there is from this perspective. So that's how our life is. And through the praying mantis beings, um, God, there's so much to talk about. They're amazing. They really, 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 and I want to say this very like slowly, they're all about unconditional love. Love without conditions. And when I say that, I mean to everything. Your minds, when I say the word everything, you already limited what that word means.
mm-hmm,
In your mind, they
mm-hmm,
talked about war. They talked about kids dying. They talked about victimhood. They talked about Hitler. They talked about like the Jewish God, what is it called? The Holocaust. They talked about like very triggering things that humanity sees as evil and the devil and the worst things ever we can do to us. Through the lens of the mantis beings, they were able to shift the lens to really make me see. And the people that pose that questions, like pose the questions like to them, what unconditional love really like looks like. And this doesn't mean you condone these actions. No, it means, how am I able to stretch my heart even further and witness those beings? Like, listen for a moment. The fact that a human being like came on Earth and chose a role to be, let's say, like Hitler, and caused the most genocide or whatever word, like the most traumatic things for humanity. How large must that soul be to carry the weight of such an aspect of creation that knows already humanity is gonna judge it? And I have chills right now.
oh yeah,
I'm all about chills.
yeah,
Confirmation, like for a lot of people, those are triggering comments because we've been so conditioned to disempower everything we see. To like disempower like the victims, to disempower like the perpetrators, to disempower the whole like experience, and like we'll get into that like a bit, but I just want to give you the extent in which how they helped me begin to see the world like from that lens, and
mhm,
beyond that, this year has been all about embodying what they taught me. Oftentimes in our spiritual community, and I've been got over like 35 events and so many online summits, all in the past year and a half, or like I want to say like 2 years now. So I'm new to this scene, guys. I've never been a channeler, didn't believe in aliens or like let alone insect beings. It's like one thing to say I believe in angels, because angels we understand like in our minds like through our religion that they're, but then you say you talk to an insectoid being, you must be out of your mind. Like, go to the hospital. I get comments on like social media, a lot of hateful comments, which I don't see them as hate. I see them as beautiful opportunities for me. But like you're a faggot because I'm gay and all these things. You're this, you're that. You need like you need to kill yourself. Like go to a psychiatric hospital. All these things because they see one aspect of it is speaking to insectoid beings, which is like, what the hell, like, are they? Um, but anyhow, the point is that wasn't my world, but it is my world now. And this year, they wanted me to understand that it's one thing to speak about concepts, which we all do.
mhm,
It's a very different thing to embody and live in your daily life those concepts.
right. And
Very different thing.
Can I make a
Sure.
comment that I was picking up when you were talking about your childhood?
Yes.
Isn't it an amazing how pre-incarnation you decided, and probably with your team of manta beings and other higher beings, your higher self, that you were going to come in and you were going to experience the very vibrations of bombs and war and physical abuse and every sort of energetic disturbance as a child, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. Everything was just being completely shaken up for a number of reasons. One, because you've experienced it, so you can turn around and help others, but so that you could personally transmute those vibrations in yourself for the collective. I'm getting chills. And um, the expansion I just see of you breaking open we come in with these cultural preconceptions and so forth. You weren't allowed to keep anything. It was busted wide open for you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you like this to have said what you said because I never saw the idea of like I experienced war and when that I was in like Las Vegas, my first event actually, the Disclosure Fest. It was at like the Luxor Hotel,
Oh yeah.
the pyramid, which that's another energy we'll talk about later. And like one person asked about war, specifically about kids dying and about women dying, like the fact of like victimhood, like how is that? How can God allow that to happen? And their response was magical. But I never put the link together that I've already experienced like the war. It's crazy. So really thank you for saying that because you're allowing me to see my life and what has transpired and what I'm keep continue to remember has given me the experience to perhaps like and it's almost like perhaps my soul like saw the unconditional love then, but I
Definitely.
I did not yet. Now I'm becoming more like conscious to what occurred then. Um, yeah, and if you hear my dogs upstairs, I'm so sorry. Like I have four dogs, they're all rescued, but they get very excited when the mailman comes and we get so
Oh,
much delivery. So every once in a while you hear whoa, whoa, whoa.
that's real life.
Totally beautiful vibration frequencies. Um, um, yeah, so they allowed me to understand what love without conditions means and looks like, and they told me it's time for you to walk the talk. Because like oftentimes in our spiritual community, and I witnessed like so many people, and there's no judgment, and the thing with them, they never ever judge, ever, ever.
Right.
They witness everything from a lens of unconditional love. They understand the grander context of what is occurring that we are unable to see. Um, so So like this year, they said it's time for you to walk the talk. So I've been doing a lot of self work. I've gone to, I think, 10 retreats in addition to my travels to my events and selling real estate. So I'm a realtor, guys. That's my like I guess like daily job. Although it's not really like a job, it's kind of fun to do. So I'm a realtor. I channel like Mantis Beings in Woo Woo and like Galactic. I also help CEOs and executives and like leaders to begin to see their corporation, their company, even the physical like location, the drywall, the floors, the everything is like consciousness and how do you begin to deal from a conscious state of being with vendors, with board members, with investors, with your staff, with your family, and I'm an author and all like other things. So
And may I just reiterate that what you're able to do, the same as myself,
yeah.
is set a frequency for success in the businesses, in the buildings.
Yes, yes, because we all are desiring that. That's the thing. We're
Yeah.
all searching, all of us, guys. And I'll get to that point about the mirroring effect. All of us, each and every one of us, even the bird, even the wind, even the sunlight, even the plants, the leaves, the rivers, the oceans, the rocks, everything, every consciousness is searching for itself, period. And I'm going to say this. They said this year. Even God itself, whoever it is, is also continually searching for who it is. Why? Because we're infinite beings. So if we really comprehend that we're infinite beings beyond the intellect,
Hmm.
infinity goes on and on and on and on and on forever, and there's never a destination. So
Right.
when you comprehend that fully, then you can see that even God, whoever that is, however it looks like, is also expanding in that continuum that is infinite, which also tells you that if he's also expanding and his essence is also like infinite, there's never a destination where that being knows itself
Hmm.
fully, fully, fully. Yes, it knows itself fully up to a certain pinpoint of where it is, of where it's conscious of, but still there's that search, that desire. And so if God, whoever that is in your world, in your mind, is also searching for itself and knows itself as being infinite, doesn't that also make you a form of God and make me a form of God and every other consciousness a true like form of God, that we're all searching like for each other? And the more that we search for each other, the more that we go within and allow ourselves to experience the infiniteness of who we are and experience and explore, allows the collective consciousness, which is the
Hmm.
collection of all the souls, you, me, the floor, the rivers, the wind, the aliens, everything, as a like collection, to begin to comprehend itself more. So each and every one of us are precious. I never use the word precious ever. The only time I heard it and rang in my ear is through the like magical the is it Gandorf or whatever? It goes
Oh, yeah.
precious. That's the only time precious rang in my ear, where that little thing goes precious. It's not part of my vocabulary, but actually like the mushroom medicine, I was called to use mushrooms, and it wasn't a high dose. It was like 1 milligram, which is not a lot. People do 5 to 6 milligram or grams, I guess grams. That's the word, and it gave me a beautiful image and understanding of how precious we are. Of course, like through the Mantis Beings, because they guide me to do like these things. When I like decided to do like the mushroom medicine, I had asked it. I had my intention with questions like before I ingested like the mushroom, but when I ingested the mushroom and it began like to take effect, like somehow within it, while I was not conscious or perhaps more conscious than now, I asked the question, what is physical body? I literally was like, okay, mushrooms, what's physical body? What is this? Don't give me concepts. Don't give me ideas. I want to understand what physical body is. And it
Hmm.
gave me the most beautiful image of it like showed me what seems to be like my ancestor lines from almost like from my periphery. I mean, of course, like my eyes are closed and I'm in space wherever I am.
Right.
I see this like whole line of energies, and I understood immediately it was my lineage, all of my aspects of me that have lived all forms of life.
Hmm.
And they told me precisely, and I have chills right now, every wish, every desire, every prayer that each of those versions have prayed out. So if each version, like for example, like didn't like, for example, how it looked, I wish I looked this way. I wish I had more money. I wish, whatever wishes they had, each and every one of them, those energies, those intentions of wishes that became that were sent out into the ether began forming my physical body. Each and every one of us are the embodiment of the many wishes. Oh my God, the chills that each and every version of us in the past wished they could be and couldn't because of the idea of limitation or whatever. And they said then, how precious is your physical vessel is.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
precious
yeah.
is your physical vessel is. Like
Hmm.
when I realized that I am the wishes of the so many that couldn't be, how can I not see myself of value? Like I am the embodiment of everything that they wanted to be, but they couldn't. Not just me, each and every one of us. Like it was the first time that I understood what precious really meant and how my life, my story, everything that unfolded up to this point, every microsecond of it is the point, is a gift, is magic, is living God within us. When like you hear people say, like we're all living gods, what does that mean? The Mantis like recently like gave me this beautiful like image. They said, your bodies contain trillions of cells.
Right.
Trillions, trillions and trillions. Each cell is an emanation of God. They said, you are a God containing within you trillions of other gods.
No,
Things like that that my mind doesn't
yeah,
even know. Like, but it's not just words, it's really feeling and
right.
understanding what it means. Like, wow. When you begin to realize that, not only do you see yourself as a precious vessel, you're able to witness others as
Mhm.
being precious. Whatever role they're playing out, that through our mind, through our forgetfulness, that we're all divine, we may judge the roles, we may judge ideas. But
Mhm.
when you begin to see the preciousness in all, realizing fully that each and every one of us are conscious God beings, playing out all these infinite roles simply for
Right.
expansion, to allow the infinite to expand with us. Like, how can you then judge?
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
let's back up. How
Sure.
did the manted beings first come in contact with you?
Thank you. I love you so much. This is a great question. Great question. So I'm actually like working with a guy in like the UK that does beautiful imagery with AI that's like so real, so etheric. I'm recreating the image that came through when the Mantis like came through. So I awoke when COVID came. It took me a year to comprehend and understand the lingo, the words, the context. It was like it's like hearing Chinese for a year, not knowing how it fits together, but finally beginning to understand like the language. And I had my first past life regression where I was regressed in or placed under hypnosis to begin remember lives, like whatever that meant. And I've never done it before. Immediately, the moment I went into the like hypnosis state,
Huh.
first image was of a like rectangular head of a praying mantis. Immediately. But the coolest thing about it, it was a flash of an image. When I say a flash, the most fastest second you can ever imagine. But the magical thing is within that fastest second that was like here and there, I was also in it forever. It was the first time ever where I experienced the idea of instantaneous image flash,
Mhm.
but while I was in it for infinite times. Two feelings, two experiences at once. I was like, it just didn't make sense to my mind, but I was in it. The next image was of this long bodied silhouette, the head, the arms like this, about 30, 40 feet high. Like you see the head, you see the shoulders, the arms. No like details, but you could see like light emanating like through it. And
Mhm.
I heard like telepathically very clearly. They said, we are coming to you through the idea of humanoid light form because your brain is able to comprehend and understand this archetype of a form.
Right.
If we truly come to you in our essence, in our like free form intelligence, your mind wouldn't be able to construct any image because it hasn't seen
Mhm.
anything like this before. But as you begin to build a relationship with us, as like we begin to like, as you begin to surrender to us so we can reveal more to you of who we are, you'll begin to understand like what we are. Again, that was an instantaneous flash, but within it, I was in it like forever. The third and like last image, magical. And that's what I knew. They're of love, unconditional love, and they're of light. They showed me a heart. I don't know if it was the heart, like the heart in our physical body, or a heart like the heart that we draw. It was a heart, but sliced, slices into infinity, to the right, to the left. There was like infinite corridors of slices. It's the best way that I can like describe it. On each of the slice, it was faceted. So this is like a crystal, okay? Like we've all seen crystals.
Beautiful.
But the interesting thing about the facets were the clarity, the intelligence of the clarity. There was an aliveness, there was a consciousness and intelligence about the clarity of each of the facets. It's the best way that I can like describe it. And these facets were on all of these slices into infinity. And again, this was a flash second, but I was in it for a long time. And within that infiniteness, on the right hand side, there was a grain, the smallest grain you can, like a micro grain of light. And they said, like telepathically, each and every one of you, meaning all like consciousnesses, each and every one of you are so powerful that you do not need a massive volcano or a flame or a bonfire or a massive flame to remind yourself that you are like really powerful being. All you need is a micro grain of your light. And in that moment, that little grain of light reflected off the one facet, I'm getting chills again, off the one facet to the next, into infinite, the infinite fast, creating a Merkaba of light. And in that moment, I knew immediately, it was an instant recognition of unconditional love because of the heart, and of light because of like this Merkaba of light. And I ran out of that like past life regression. And I had like a few more like past lives where I was buried, I was a slave like 2 or 3 times, I was buried alive. So a lot of dramatic like lives I've lived with pain and drama. But I ran out of that session calling my friends like, oh my God, I belong to the insectoid, praying mantis came like, but in that moment when I went to the past life regression, I wanted to belong. I wanted to say, I come from here, I come from there, like this is my first like emanation. But that was my like I want to say basic understanding because I was
Mhm. Yeah.
like I was still awakening, but now I like realize I'm all of it, I'm everything, and that in our life, on our path, like certain aspects of us that are relevant for this theme will come online to
Right.
assist, awaken, adjust, all these things. So that's exactly how like they came through, and in like literally a month or like 2 months later. I'm a great sleeper. I sleep super well. I can get up and pee 20 times and go like, I I swear. And I do pee a lot because I drink a lot. I love water, by the way. I love water. I'm Pisces, I'm fish. So like water is my thing. But like the point is I can go back to bed immediately and I'm great. During that first year, year and a half, like spirit would wake me up. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I cannot sleep for the rest of the day. Like, then my body is tired, my mind is exhausted, I'm doing mindless things, I have no interest watching TV or even being on my phone. But you can't just sit there and watch the wall for 6 hours for the rest of the day. So you're on Instagram or you're doing stuff just to pass time, exhausted. But those are the moments where I learned to surrender, and magically they would awaken things within my field, like one of which created decal on the back of your car. Massive advertisement, really, more than one decal. It was like a lot of like lines that like you're the Ontarian heart, that like you connect to the Antares Stargate, that like you channel extra dimensional beings, put mantis, put aliens, put spaceships, put like Bigfoot, and drive around Washington D.C. I live in Washington D.C. I live in Washington D.C., guys, the most conservative
Oh, there he
town
goes. The
you can
crazy
ever.
guy.
Totally. Driving around Washington, D.C., showing people houses, because I sell real estate. Never been called on like the back of my car to say I'm a realtor or I sell. Never. Like I had an empty car, just like every other car. But when that happened, the awakening was. And I have people in my car as I'm showing them houses from all denominations, all walks of life, all financial like status. And we talk, and the first thing they see is the back of the car. You can't miss it. It's like filled. And we have the most heart-opening conversation about consciousness, about God, about Jesus, about Muhammad, about Buddha, like the most unconditionally loving conversation, not to make them believe what I do or believe what, or like them. It's just this beautiful exchange of dialogue, of heart, just trying to understand each other. Absolutely magical. Absolutely magical. And I do like real estate seminars. I speak on stage at big corporations here, always wearing my stuff. I don't dress dramatically yet. On stage, if you've seen me, I dress quite dramatic. Not at these corporate places, not yet, but eventually I probably will. But I always have these things, and it's the most beautiful conversation that we have about consciousness and openings and what it means. And it's like a permission slip for people to step beyond and outside of the box that society
Perfect.
said
Perfect.
you should live. Yeah.
That is one reason I have this channel is to assist others to expand their consciousness. Now, can we go back to the point of light, which
Yeah.
you are, and the infinite slices of the Antarian heart, which I believe is a is you. Each and every crystalline slice of the infinite Antarian heart is you and your many, many infinite aspects of self. That's what I was getting. Does that ring true for you?
I wasn't aware of it till you said it. I mean, I speak so often about we're all pieces, right? Like we're all fractured pieces of the infinite. And I never see, guys, this is a perfect example how each and every one of us are ascended masters teaching each other what we need to know. So no, you're the first person in 4 years, I want to say like 2.5 years when I've been to these events, that has ever mentioned that. So thank you, my love, for awakening that aspect. And how freaking beautiful am I? I want to say that.
And and when you think about those infinite aspects, those slices of the sparkly crystal infinite beauty,
Yeah,
which you are, which we all are, it's just a wonderful imagery, which of course is given to you so that our mind can comprehend it.
yeah. I love you. Thank
Oh,
you
well,
for saying that. Thank you, because now I'm like, wow, because I'm gonna be on TV soon, I should say that. And like part of the creation of what I just described with the guy like from the UK who does beautiful AI, uh, alive, like a beautiful, you know. Um, so you just helped me unlock even further because I knew that message or that image like needed to be shared like with the world, and I like finally have the opportunity to be on a network where it can reach a lot of people. So I'm definitely gonna use what you said.
oh, good.
Uh, what because yeah, it never occurred to me that I am those facets, although I know I'm a facet
Right.
of the infinite. Thank you.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Because this is how you were talking about your regular person, but then you get downloads of the information, the knowingness. And it's when I'm speaking with someone that I get the downloads of information, in particular about the person I'm speaking with. And when you were describing those beautiful slices of infinity, which is you, it was gorgeous.
And like now, as you say that, I've said so many times the intelligence of the clarity of the fastest. We're intelligent. Never, my mind never, like intelligence, which is I'm intelligence, you're intelligence, all consciousnesses are intelligence. It never clicked then. Um, oh wow, you just like awakened me to the next level. I love it. Thank you. I'm so grateful.
That's what we like to do for each other. And I also lead people into the Akashic records so they can review past lives. And it was a transformational tool for me 40 years ago. But I know how that works and how that sudden flash,
Yeah,
you can get a 1 second visual flash in your mind, but at the same time, because it's in the quantum field of all that is, you automatically tune into that frequency. And once you can tune into that frequency, it's almost like you've made a new pathway.
totally, 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 totally. Oh my God, I want to have a session with you
Okay,
because I would love to hear more. So we'll figure that out after this
okay.
is finished. Um, yeah. Oh, and also, guys, let's talk about mirroring effect just for 1 second, right? So, like through
Yes,
the praying mantis beings, we all hear if you've been in the spiritual like world, you hear about, or even maybe like psychology. I don't know, like I don't follow like psychological like things, but you hear about mirrors, that you're my mirror, like what does that mean? Like what does it mean that like you're my mirror? But like through the praying mantis beings, they said and like this was during like all this information, by the way, guys, always comes through channel messages like to people or like to groups. I never been called to sit by myself and just like channel like knowledge, although I may begin doing it soon.
you
It's always
will.
been
You will.
thank you. Thank you. Because my other teacher said, it's time for you, Tony. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to feel it. Up to this point, it's always like been through dialogue. And like when I channel, I have my eyes closed the whole time for 2 or 3 hours and I go, into the
Mhm,
state and like you begin
mhm.
dialoguing. So that's how I've received all my information up to this point. They gave me this beautiful like image for like the person that I forget what question they asked. And they said, imagine you walking outside of your house. You open the door, you're outside of the house now, and just look around. Everything you see, blade of grass, the clouds, sunlight, humans, the car, the tire on the car, the stones, the asphalt, everything you see, even if you witness an interaction with people, even if a thought crosses your mind, everything that you experience as you're standing still. They said, each and every one of those are ascended masters, literally holding a mirror for you to see what you are unable to see within your heart.
Mm. Mhm.
And in that moment, they said, what a beautiful, and I have chills, what a beautiful gift, with an S, gifts. Each and every one of you have given yourselves, that everything you see outside of you are all mirrors. Each and every one of them designed to bring you back to your own heart. Each and every one of them has pieces of information. I have a lot of more chills coming back to you. Like when you begin to comprehend and realize, I am surrounded by infinite gifts, every single one of them designed to lead me back to my heart, to find out more about who I am. What a magical world we created. But until
And
you
that,
be,
and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is God's source learning about itself. As we learn about ourselves, he, she, God's source creator energy is learning about itself.
yes, but when you put on the lens of like remembering that everything is a gift, all of it is designed to set to lead me back to my heart, which is all of us are trying to find out who we are and what we are
Right.
and what the purpose of life. When you see it from that lens, you're like, oh my freaking Lord, like there's so much, like it becomes an exciting place to be in, right? Like versus what like society, like culture, education. Don't even get me started on our like an education system. Um, Everything is built through the idea of disempowerment and fear and separation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so through the lens of forgetting who you are, really believing that you are separate than like the rest, then you also experience a different way that eventually will lead you like to heart. But the accelerated way to get to the heart, to understand yourself more, is the idea of unconditional love, loving without conditions, and integration of everything that seems to be, and the key is seeming, the illusion of like separate, seems to be outside of you to really be you, all of it leading you to find out more. Like, what a magical place we created.
Right.
Magical.
Isn't
Magical.
it? It is. It's truly the miracle of
Yes.
life.
Yes. Yes.
Just
Now, mm,
we're discovering back to who
yes,
we really are.
exactly. Now, people talk about unconditional love. I
Mhm.
even talked about unconditional love from a concept view. Through
Mhm.
Disney, through all these other things, through books, I don't know, all these things, we've constructed in our mind what a love means and like looks like. I'm going to say this very clear to everyone, and this is to me too, because I'm also like living in this here. No one of us, none of us can truly understand love without conditions
Mhm.
until you experience it inside of you.
Mhm.
Up until that point, if you are not going within your shadows, aspects of you that you have buried consciously or perhaps unconsciously, or stories you created, aspects of you that you chose you don't want to deal with, you don't want to see, you don't want to accept as part of you, like you've shunned them away, you've pushed them away. Those aspects of you are desiring to be seen, to be as part of you, are desiring to be seen by you as God, because they are God. They are a facet of God. Because through like this spiritual understand and in our search to understand what spirituality is, we've fallen into the pitfall, if that's even a word, on the light aspect of the spectrum. Humanity created the spectrum, good, the bad, and like the neutral. Everything that's good, if I'm successful, if I'm happy, if I'm meditating every day, if I'm channeling, listen to me, I'm talking about unconditional love. Like a parrot. Praying Mantis Beings said, each and every one of you, without judgment, they said, you are like parrots. You recite things, but you don't comprehend them.
Mhm.
On this aspect that I'm great, da 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 da. But dare you go into this spectrum of who you are? Because we said earlier, I'm an infinite being, I'm all of it. Going into this, the shadows of who you are, and beginning to loving without conditions what each and every aspect of you that has done, meaning every decision that you made that you regretted, every bad thought you had, every bad choice. There's no bad to the eyes of creation, but through our minds, all of those serve the purpose. All of those under the label of bad, there's a flame of creation under it. How are these alive? How are these aspects of you even creating? How can you create if there isn't a flame, some sort of fuel that is allowing that creation to happen, regardless whether it's good or bad? So underneath the labels, there's always God. So when you begin to comprehend that and love every aspect of you, unconditionally and begin to vibrate that within you, that's when you are able to have the lens of unconditional love to see the rest. Up until that point, you are living a fantasy concept of what unconditional love is. Because so many of us have said, oh, peace around the world. Oh, there's all these beautiful words. But within us, or even with our actions, we're judging. There's a lot of forms of judgment. There's even judgment that looks so unconditionally loving, but it's a form of judgment. Be careful. I've been getting a lot of hateful mails, mail on like social media, a lot. And you can track it if you go to my page. There's one like video like that I posted on just one of my like events where I was wearing a beautiful like golden dress, and I received so much hate from me. You're crazy, like you're a cult leader, you're gay, you're a faggot, I don't know what else. And like even like go kill yourself and go to a hospital, psychiatric, blah blah. Even from some psychologists, I'm like, wow, you're a psychologist and you're saying these things. But anyways, initially I was shocked. I'm like, wow, like people exist in this world that actually profess these things to other people. It was so confusing to me because in my world of people, everybody's loving and we're always like working on self. I forgot that the rest of the world doesn't live the way that all these communities are. And I was triggered for a day, and I'm like, and the Mantis being like came through clearly on the third day, and they said, "This is your opportunity, Tony, to start to stop living in the concepts of what we're teaching you and begin to embody what these means." And they gave me this lens of vision to be able to see that each and every one of those comments are gifts. And if you see my comments, even if a person says, you're a faggot, you're this, go to the hospital, go kill yourself, I say, I honor your view, I'm like fully. And I say like, thank you for speaking your truth. Help me understand why you feel this way or like whatever. But when I say I honor it, I truly do. Because how can I sit here and assume that being lived my life, has been through my expansion, awakened? How do I know he didn't go through a traumatic experience? How did I know he wasn't molested or physically abused or like, how do I know that? But yet I'm gonna sit here and judge you for judging me, right? Because often people told me, "Oh, like ignore their comments." No, I'm not gonna ignore like the comments. I would like to come back with an unconditionally, like loving message. How do I do it, right? And like some of them say, "Oh, like say this," but I'm like, no, but that's a form of judgment. So whoever is judging me, I'm giving them a lighter form of judgment. I'm like, well, I'm using the same weapon as he or she are using based on fear or whatever. So I use those hateful comments as mirrors for me. If I get triggered, I am triggered. They're not triggered. If I'm triggered, it's a beautiful opportunity and a gift for me to go within myself and heal that aspect of me, because no way on earth I could feel triggered if I don't identify with what's being said. So I began using like those comments to live what I talk. And I had beautiful like responses back where people said, I can't believe you responded this way. Like, oftentimes they get hate back and it's like this back and forth like battle with whatever. I'm like, so it was very surprising. It wasn't surprising to my heart, but it was beautiful to witness that was some people, like not all of them, they actually like took back what they said. And they said, I'm really sorry to have, and like one guy like recently said, he said, I'm really, really sorry. I like projected my anger and like me having like a bad day like onto you. But like, thank you for speaking back to me in like this way. And I like realized, I don't know what else, blah, 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 blah. So that's how unconditional love works. Loving without conditions. That even when we witness something we've been so trained is not good, you even see that from an expanded heart, because how can I expect people to live the way that we live or understand what I understand unless they've been in my body and lived my life?
And you set the example.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. But I feel it, right? I'm not just saying it like a parrot.
Right.
I'm exercising what I'm saying like conceptually, and I'm witnessing the change. I'm witnessing the rebirth of them and me, right? Because when I step into that truth, I'm rebirthing myself every time. What's the word? I'm rewriting my story that I am of unconditional love, right? And who is that person that's speaking to me like to begin with? Who is that person that just like judged me and said all these bad things? Isn't that an aspect of me? That other facet?
And
So when you So when you begin to realize everyone outside of you, human, non-human, plants, everything else that I've listed before, are all aspects of you, how can you then judge? Like when you really realize beyond the mind, those are me, living their roles to allow God, the infinite, to know more about itself. Like
Right.
then there's no way on earth you wouldn't begin to try to learn how to love those things that you've been taught by like society and schools and cultures and religion and other things not to perhaps love, you know? So it's just magic. It's absolute magic.
And just your answers make such a is an opportunity for the person. I did a little series on Telos, the interdimensional city inside Mount Shasta,
Yeah.
and one of the comments was, "There's no such place," blah blah blah. And my comment back was, "I respect your opinion, but this is my personal experience." Just a very something simple and neutral energy. And I never got another answer back, but I felt like it may have awoken or triggered him to think about it.
Exactly. And like through the Mantis beings, they also like brought a point about energies. And like they spoke about it from the idea of this was like 3 years ago about the idea of homelessness, right? So like in
Mhm.
DC, like we have a lot of homelessness. I mean, everywhere across the world, like we have people like living on the street. And I've been taught through my culture and through all of our cultures that you give money, you give food, blah blah blah, and then there's all these things. Don't give money because they may go get drugs or whatever it is, right? Just the whole the like training of what we should do.
Right.
But oftentimes we see the Mantis being said, you witness and view what looks like homelessness to you from a disempowered point of view. So in that moment, even though you're giving them money or food or whatever, or you're assisting them, within your field, you've already projected the idea of disempowerment that, oh, like, he's on the street. You're not seeing behind the illusion that
Hmm.
there is an ascended God master that has consciously chosen as energy to live that specific path to allow himself, herself to expand through that. I'm getting chills again. And they
Right.
said the next time you see a homeless man and give money and give food or whatever, begin seeing them from the lens of empowerment. Because simply by your intention, oh my God, my hair is completely up right now, simply by your intention of fully realizing and recognizing they are ascended masters, they are gods,
Right.
that alone awakens within their field that they are gods. Because even in the role that they have chosen to live as a homeless, there is a forgetfulness that they are God. But by you seeing them simply as gods, you awaken within their field the empowered state of being. Magical. Like, look at my hair, it's completely
Yep.
up.
Yep. Oh yeah. I
Magical, and this is what the mantises do. They've been using words and tweaking them just an angle. Everything shifts. Geniuses, all about love. It's just they're geniuses. I'm like, I thought I knew what love is. I mean, everybody comes to me and says exactly what you said, like when you introduced me, your love and da da da. Da. But I still, through them, I'm learning.
oh yeah.
Love also is infinite. Like,
Right.
there's never a point where I'm embodied or you've embodied unconditional love. That aspect continues on forever. So,
That
and yeah,
that example about the homeless that you just gave
yeah,
really is important, and it really will give me something to think about, because very often I will look at someone on the street and think, wow, I'll be curious, why did that soul choose that uh, way of being in this incarnation?
yes.
And yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, and look, like this is them here, and like this is how they really like dissect the word to allow you to remember how. So even by you asking the question, which we all do, by the way, this is not you specifically, why did the soul choose that?
Mhm.
By asking that question, we're already judging because we already are prejudging where they are is not good or isn't enough or isn't whatever on the caliber of our own fantasy. That's how they allow you to begin to realize the judgment within ourselves that's masked by some spiritual like cloak. What they want to help us to see is everything is God. Everything that seems to be not as good or isn't on this caliber or higher or lower, which it's never seen by the eyes of creation, like that, is the point, is the gift.
Yeah, how do you reconcile that with how? And this is a question probably a lot of people have. I look at some of these people and they look so miserable, so uncomfortable, so unhealthy in a lot of different ways. And I certainly wouldn't want to see my son or daughter on the street like that, in that condition. And I
Yes.
have a lot of empathy and compassion for them. But that's where I'm looking at, that's where my judgment is, oh, I wouldn't want to be in that position. I wonder why they chose that. So, of course, their master within is giving me an opportunity to learn something about myself, but I do often wonder what they're getting out of it.
Look, the real answer is put yourself in that position and you begin to see the gifts.
Okay.
Try to live on the street for a day in that moment. But although as you are living on the street like for a day, you have like safety mechanism. I have a
Right,
home, I
right.
have a family, whatever. But still,
Mhm.
within what we cannot see are the gifts.
Right.
But even like if you dissect it even further, why am I even seeing where he is not at or is less or whatever it is, it has less value or there's less lessons there than where I am now. That's all conditioning of our society.
Oh, I
There
would
is
think they'd have more lessons.
totally
More. Oh,
more more gifts of empowerment. The fact that somebody can live on the street and still survive and still eat and still breathe, regardless of how they look from see, and also how we're seeing them
hmm,
will reflect back where we are at. So when you begin to see them as fully empowered, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, really comprehend that what I'm looking at that seems to be hasn't taken a shower in 3 days, that seems to be depressed or unhappy, that seems to be cold, seem. Illusion. I'm seeing that illusion through where I am, from my lens that I've already prejudged them. But when you step into the full empowerment that, thank you, and I'm looking at, I'm kind of like imagining a homeless being there. Thank you for allowing me to witness that God is infinite, is an infinite nature. I am witnessing right now God at its best performance.
oh yeah. And
In that, in
and
that moment, when you fall behind the mind, away from the mind, and allow yourself to just let spirit show you what we cannot see, you'll begin, literally, spirit will awaken in your field things you would never have imagined through the idea of of like the mind. And this is where the idea of like surrender like really comes in, that oftentimes we want instantaneous, like instant gratification of an answer. That's not how spirit works, as you know. Like something happens and then you could be dry, you could be like showering and then it clicks and you like. And also how we understand the idea of infinite, right?
mhm,
We already spoke about that. That's part of the infinite. How do you know that that soul didn't live lives that were so freaking comfortable for eons and eons and eons and eons, and he chose not to live comfortable anymore, and he wants to experience the
right.
opposite?
And and that's when, as you were talking, I put myself as the soul in that body on the corner looking out. That
Yes,
soul is experiencing, looking out at the reactions,
yes,
and feeling both his experience and their experience.
yes.
What a collection of wisdom right there.
Totally. And this is where, when we begin to become conscious of how empowered we are, not empowered like I'm stronger than you, like ego, empowered in the sense, wow, I'm everything, and I can see my other like who's that homeless person to begin with? Isn't that a version of you and me? Yes. And we have choice. in this life to either continue living in the forgetfulness of all and keep sending energy, mirror back to him the forgetfulness of who I am, or I can choose consciously to remember my empowerment and see him from an empowered state of being so that being can begin to see itself again as empowered. Because although he is an ascended master in the role that he chose forgetfulness.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how we begin to empower each other and assist each other energetically beyond the words through thought, through the idea of because and the reason like that I say this is the Master said each and every one of you are tethered to every potential consciousness. Like there's never a point where we're disconnected energy wise.
Mm-hmm.
So the thought, the things conscious or unconscious are always being like fed into loop to each other to everything else. So when you become like conscious that I'm this electrical grid connected to everything else, you're like, wow, now I have a choice to experience a reality that I choose, right? To awaken everyone with my own awakening, to empower everyone through my own power, while also honoring the choice of that being, that even though you may continue like sending empowerment or remembrance, shall that being choose to continue to stay in the disempowered forgetfulness state,
Mm-hmm.
that's where loving without condition also, that's the
Right.
next level of that, to literally honor them fully as ascended masters they have chosen and allowing them to experience the gift of the infinite through their lens, like,
Right.
you know,
So, oh, yep, energy
energy.
shifting. Um, Really, all we can do is just be loving and send love to them and be, I mean, I don't think anyone hasn't had a personal lesson where they've had to practice loving detachment,
Yes,
whether it's with a family or friend that you really can't help them. You just have to witness and be a loving pillar of strength for them if they choose
yes.
to take advantage.
Yes, yes. And like we talk oftentimes about like shifting your reality, right? If you're in like a romantic relationship and your husband or wife or whatever, I don't know, there's things we forget, right? How do you shift that version? That happened in my life. I've been with Craig for God, 12, we've been married for 12 years now. Our life, the first 2 years were amazing, and then after that, I don't know, you forget, blah blah blah. It became stale, but I don't know what else, all kinds of things. And the whole time throughout the next 10 years, or I should say like 9 years, I tried to change him. Like the whole thing that society taught us is like a solution. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. When I'm trying to change him or change our dynamic, his version began shifting, which was unbelievable. And like knowing my husband, he's emotional, but he hides everything inside. He speaks, but not communicative about like he just recently like shared that he's been crying. His mom like passed away about 10 years ago. He hasn't even grieved her. Like that's a very traumatic thing for him. He told me the other like week, like 2 weeks ago, and we were in like Mexico at a retreat, like working on ourselves, like with a shaman. For the first time, he said, "I've been crying every single day I've been with you, but I've been hiding it from you." For his mom. Like, what? You've been crying every day, you've been hiding it from me? Like, so like the reason that I'm like sharing this like with the public is he's very private. It's hard for me to extract information. He's not very he's communicative, but he's not like me where I share everything. I'm an open book. I can share every effing thing and
Right.
everything, all of it. He's the opposite. So I thought he will never change. I thought there's nothing I could do in my life, like nothing, until I began working on myself. When I went inside and began loving myself and seeing my shadows and working on my traumas or whatever it is, and even working on the aspects of me that wanted to change him and wanted things different and wished this, when I say he shifted overnight,
Mhm.
I was shocked he even shifted. Like I couldn't believe this version of him emerged out
Mhm.
of nowhere when I've been trying for 10 years to have a new version like come out, finally emerged because I shifted frequency.
Right.
So that's in relation to the people that can relate with. But the point that I'm saying, like back to the hole in the sky, or if you see the act of war, or if you see all these all these things that are very dramatic. When you begin to shift your lens on how you see it, things shift. A new version appears, a new lesson appears that you could not have seen until you have shifted, like initially. Like those are the lenses, the glasses that we put on to choose to see life from, to see the gifts, you know?
Well, and look at it from this also this energy. I'm always looking at things from energetic points of view.
Yeah.
When you literally raised your own frequency because of your inner work, your new frequency affected him and awakened codes within him that's how we bounce off of each other. And in a relationship where we've made an agreement to grow together and accept the triggering that each other might give us as an opportunity,
Exactly.
it's wonderful.
Exactly, exactly. Even the idea of money, even the idea of all things, like everybody's manifesting, like I mean, like the mantis being said, even the idea you are attempting to manifest tells you already that you cannot manifest. They
You
said it's so.
have to put yourself in that I've already got it.
Yes, because if you know you are that you are a creator, why would you need desire even manifestation?
Right,
But
right.
none of us believes that we're creators. They said you are like parents. They weren't judging us. They were just allowing us to see that we speak concepts, don't comprehend. When I say I'm a creator, that's it. Desire of manifestation doesn't exist within that vibration because you are. Then go ahead, create whatever you choose.
I
You know,
love
so
it.
like
Yeah.
little things like that, it's just like brain explosion, like emoji. You
Mhm.
know me and my emojis. I'm all about emojis.
Oh,
Um, you know, it's like brain
yes.
explosion, like. But even like the idea of like abundance and like money that we all kind of struggle with because we're all on the same path of like forgetting, you know, how do you see money? How did you grow up? Like, what were the definitions that are buried so deep you don't even know they exist that are running the program of lack, of I'm not a creator, of this, of that. Even the idea of like IRS, like I make a lot of money and I pay a lot of taxes, and IRS, like, oh my God, it's always like the devil, right? In my mind, it's always like it's always been like, oh God, here's an IRS bill. I've never seen IRS bill as a gift. Who has? But I've been, you know what I mean? Like this is reality, but I've been practicing like when I get and I see that it says IRS, I'm like, fuck. Like, oh my God, like and you get into that state, I'm like, so I got one recently. I said, "Okay, wow, thank you." And I literally shifted. Now I was acting like a little bit because I'm trying to shift. Like there's a little bit of action and like parroting at first until you fall into that. But you train yourself, right? It's training. That IRS, wow, you brought me a gift. What are you going to show me today that I never knew before? How is this relationship going to be very different than the other letters I've received? You know, to begin to work with these things in a very playful way and when I say things shifted,
Oh,
like the most magical things shifted with the IRS, it's like no way on freaking like my accountants would call me and they're so dramatic because that's their job, you know. But things just dramatic, like you begin to prove to yourself that with the shift of energy that you do, the lens in which you see things,
uh-huh.
no more as bad or evil or less than or this. Things are happening in crazy ways like no way on earth uh, you could even like conceive it because you've been so stuck in one way. So anyhow, this goes to everything.
Oh, I
um,
think that's perfect. A perfect example.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally, totally. um and guys, I have to say this: I use the F word, I use every other word in our vocabulary. Let's be realistic. Creation is infinite. Yeah, not that I'm saying I should use the F word all the time, but it comes out every once in a while, and like some people are like oh my God, please don't be so dramatic. You know you've used it. We all used it. It's part of the infinite. Also, the judgment towards the F word and what's said, that's also another form of judgment. And it's not a joke. When you begin to notice yourself judging things that are so silly, like to begin with, it's just a word. I can cuss you out like in Arabic right now, and you would never know what it means, and it would fly over your head. Because you don't know what it means.
Right,
But this is the
right.
point. The only reason we don't like the F word because we have put the bad certain meaning towards it when life has no meaning.
Well,
Because,
I'm 75 and I grew up in a generation where good girls did not cuss.
of
And
course.
I find myself, along with a whole bunch of other women my age, that when we suddenly got to a certain age, where whatever it was, around 60, all of a sudden we said, we can say whatever the fuck we want to say.
Oh,
It's like, and it was like, oh, I'm so free. I can say
totally.
whatever I want. It's not that I say it all the time, but now I can say it and not feel guilty.
Yes, because that's a form of prison. And that's how society, look, like religion is amazing. There's a lot of beautiful things about religion. Don't, I just want to be clear. I'm not knocking. Everything serves. I
Right.
see it clearly.
Right.
But oftentimes, it's all about fear, about disempowerment, about forgetfulness, about separation.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you feel free. Why? Because you're not in the prison of not to do this. Creation is infinite. It expresses itself in all infinite ways to understand itself as the infinite. And one of them is to say the F word when you feel like it, if you feel like it. So what? So again, I go back to the Arabic. If I cuss you in Arabic, you would have no idea. You probably laugh at me, say thank you. No meaning.
And
So when you deconstruct those things and diffuse the meaning of what these things mean, you breathe easy, like it's like a breath of fresh air versus that contraction. Oh, but even through that, through the eyes of man, says there's no judgment, right? It's a form of creation. It allows you to just simply be the creator that you are. So it's all beautiful. It's all
you are
amazing.
beautiful, my dear. And let
Thank
me
you.
just take a look.
Sure.
There's so much that we could talk about.
Sure.
Um, but since you are in contact, I shouldn't say in contact, you're in resonance with
Thank you.
the Mantis Beings, and we're in a very unique time in humanity's evolution right now of consciousness. A lot's going on.
Yeah.
And have you been given some information, advice from the Mantis Beings about this time that we're in right now?
Those questions.
Yes.
You know why I say like those questions? Um, Look, when you understand what the universe is, when you begin to comprehend the infinite nature of who we are and
Mhm.
how not complicated but complex
Right.
the infinite is, those questions become irrelevant. Because even as you, and like this is how like they would answer it, as you finish posing that question, whatever answer that would have been given, the timeline would have shifted. We're constantly shifting within something that's so infinite. Like if you can imagine like a sacred geometrical structure, whatever you can
Yeah.
imagine. Now multiply that by now like open it up into like multidimensionality. And everything is like crisscross lines of so many timelines that
Mhm.
with one little tiny intention, even before you finished, as you begin to utter the question, the whole architecture, the mathematic creation shifted. So by the time you get to the end, by the time the person answers whatever answers is being given, things are already completely like shifting. So it's from their lens, it's irrelevant to pose like such questions. But I know the mind comprehends or need or like desires the absolutism, which there's no absolute anything. Nothing is this or that. Everything is shifting instantaneously within billions of seconds and billions times per second, like Bashar says. Um, so another way that they would help you reshift, or because many people have asked questions to like reshift it is, what is occurring within myself?
Mhm.
Why am I even posing such a question and disempowering my beingness that some grander idea of humanity or the timeline has more power than me as a god to choose whichever timeline I can get to be on? Then literally such a question will fall away and you begin to focus on your intentions, your self-work, your vision, your intention of which timeline you then choose. Because oftentimes we ask these questions as if some higher power is, or even the collective of humanity, the collection, all the humans, right? Yes, we're all like one energy. We're all shifting like like together as a big, I'm going to say the word herd of humans. But
Right.
even within what seems to be a herd, there is the individual like sovereignty to choose that reality. So they will shift you back to that, to say, where do you choose to go? Where do you choose to see humanity head? Like, what are things like within the world that you are witnessing that you don't desire, and go within yourself and start shifting that there. And then you'll begin to reveal it like to you like that way. Now, again, because of the complexity, like so many timelines, you can be shifting fully on a new timeline while observing every single human on the planet going in one direction or many other directions. So when you comprehend those things beyond the word, it's hard for me to describe. And even worse, it's just like, and how beautiful, like, is it that now you don't desire to pose such a question because you're re-empowering yourself that I get to choose what
Well,
timeline I want to be on. Yeah,
let me
sure,
redirect the question then.
sure, sure.
Um, I feel very in my own power to create my reality and be on my highest timeline.
Yeah,
My desire is, what can I do besides uh, being the best that I can be? What can I do to assist others to really know who they are and the powerful spiritual beings that they are, so that we can all create this beautiful future. I've been given a vision of what our future on this planet looks like,
yeah,
and it is just magnificent. It's beautiful. So
yes,
I'm always thinking, what can I do to assist the collective to get there? Because I know I don't worry about myself. I know I'm there
yeah.
already. It's just a frequency. What can I do to assist others?
The truth is, we cannot help anyone else do anything
Oh, I,
because that's disempowerment. Me desiring to help you is my own desire to help myself.
okay.
As a sovereign being, each gets to choose through their free will choice, right?
Right,
Constant self work, even though you think or we all think I'm there, we're never there. That's a destination. Again, go back to the infinite
right,
aspect. There's more to find out. So the more that we go in
right,
and continue to stay on that high frequency of conscious, like I'm not as asleep as I was yesterday. I'm more
right.
aware and conscious of the more. That energy, because we're interconnected, will feed into the rest, giving them seeds and clues for them to awaken on their path when they want to, when they choose to, etc. Like etc. But also, as you witness them while choosing they don't want to awaken, that's the lesson, is to allow them to be precisely where they are. That even your heart desires humanity to see, to look one way. Also, witnessing humanity not reach that vision that you have through the eyes of loving without condition is really the ascension, like within.
Hmm.
It's deep and
I
it
was
goes.
just gonna say that. You read my mind. I said in my mind, I'm going, that's deep.
I mean, and it doesn't end there. Like there's more and more and more and more. But truly, 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 like we're so like even as awakened as I feel I am one day, and the next day I'm like, where in the fuck am I? Why am I even thinking this way? Like do you know what I mean? Like I have deep forgetfulness and I have a deep awakening. Um, Even within it, we're so programmed. Even the vision like this you received, my love, through the idea of vision is a destination of some sort. Somehow we're giving it more value to what is occurring right here and right now, and that's the trick, is to begin, and again, this is all Mantis Beings, this is all loving without condition, right? Because still we're so trained that we're getting to a better timeline, that humanity be much better there, because we've constructed an image or some energy of that there is more valuable than now, when right here and right now, everything we're witnessing, everything that's occurring in terms of forgetfulness is the fucking point, is the fucking gift, is fucking God playing out its best role ever. When we begin to see that fully from love without condition, without comparing it to the next like destination, is the acceleration. Like And this is why it's always within. We may think we're awakened. We may think there's a lot of layers within layers of forgetfulness within what seems to be like awakened that we keep unpacking. And that's truly like the nature of the infiniteness of who we are. And that's the gift that we keep unwrapping what we already thought we unwrapped it, and the gift is there. But within the gift, there's another gift, you know? Because truly, psychologically speaking, by us posing a question and saying, I want humanity like to be here, I'm already saying I'm judging the form of where humanity is right here, right now.
Mhm. I, well, I know my how my higher consciousness works with little April, and that
Yes.
is I'm given visions of potentials, probabilities, my future, and it works like a carrot for me because if I look around at some of the states of consciousness, and this is a judgment,
Yes.
um, I would just love everyone to be as happy and feel, and it makes me want to cry, the love that we all are. That's my, that's what I want. So
And
they give me a little carrot to keep me, on my
and
best path.
look, I totally get you because I cried like to Mother Earth. I actually created like a video on Instagram. I wasn't planning on crying, but I became very emotional as I'm praying to Mother Earth in a way, or speaking to Mother Earth. But see, this is the gift, and this is for your audience. You would not have gotten emotional right now and literally expanded your heart to feel love deeper and higher than ever before, shall you not have witnessed what you desired not to witness. Assuming you live in a world of beauty,
Right.
everybody's happy, everybody's loved. What you just experienced in terms of expansion of heart and crying, you would not have been able to reach it there unless you were here. And that's the point.
Yes, it can be heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, you see, heartbreaking,
It's a good thing.
yes. And even as we say heartbreaking, there is a disempowering energy built in within it deep, deep that we don't even like realize. It's beauty in itself. What you felt isn't heartbreaking, it's heart expanding. And
Yes,
you're
true.
crying for such an expansion. Why? Because you are able to see and honor the beauty of what the mind says isn't beautiful. We've been conditioned through society and religion, all kinds of things, and our own stories, that here is not good, but here is better. So my heart breaks. But when you surrender fully into the love of it, it's God playing out in all these forms simply to allow our hearts to expand to the infinite nature that it is. Whatever love you felt up to this point
Right.
in your life, as vast and amazing and powerful that it feels, there's still infinite nature of it that you haven't even felt. And everything else that happening around us and after this life and wherever we go next, all opportunities to allow us to feel that field of love without conditions to everything. Heart is everything.
And,
The heartbeat, boop, 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 boop.
and it's a portal
Yes,
for a higher consciousness.
totally, totally, totally. So, oftentimes when I have one-on-one channeling sessions or even like group sessions, like people they like list out like questions,
Mhm.
20, 30, 40, whatever questions. And I always encourage, please have questions if you prefer or not, you don't have to. When they come in and when they come in, like they always give like a general message for the being, whether it's a group or like the human that I'm like speaking to. And they go into their past lives and future lives sometimes. So like they go in 10 minutes in and then they say, you're welcome to ask question. Once they say you're welcome to ask a question, literally, I swear to God, almost every time they say, well, I had this whole list of questions, but now that I heard you guys say what you say, in their field, in their awakened, in their energy, they're like, there's no need to ask these questions. Like they comprehended something that transcended the idea of questions, and new questions began forming based on this new, like, on this new, like, awakening. So I forget the point where I was saying it, but there was a point. Here comes forgetfulness. Anyways, thanks, Mantis. I'm back to my body now. So, anyways, there was a point there. We'll get to it later or not. And this is where I have to surrender. Like, okay, I said what I said. You guys received what you need to receive. Um, yeah, I don't even know what the point was now.
Oh, well, whatever it was, I received it. uh, Thank you. You're bringing like a whole new perspective into me. It's not that I
Yeah.
don't know
Yes.
it, but it's a reminder, you know,
Totally. Totally.
complete reminder. And you are an author. When will your book be available?
So probably in a few months, it's done, but I'm gonna add a few things, some activations, some sound stuff to it, like QR codes so people can access. Um,
And the name of it will be, do you know yet?
oh my God, I haven't advertised it yet. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll say it since you haven't seen it. You are not crazy, you are galactic.
Wonderful.
Messages from like the praying mantis beings. So like this book, which I'm gonna create like a few other books like after that, but it's all my channel not all of them, like 58 channel mess. I've had many one-on-one channel messages, but like these are like 58 sessions, and kind of the
Wow.
meat or the messages that each one was given to that human.
Ooh.
They're in a poetry format, like very close to Rumi. I don't know if you guys know Rumi, how he speaks. The like the Persian author or like the Persian poet, and the Lebanese um, like Khalil Gibran. He's also like a poet and a prophet. So it's a bit similar like to their style, because as you read it, you'll comprehend it, but it literally opens up portals to go in every direction. It's a very activating like messages. I'm part of three anthology books that I haven't even like advertised, or like maybe four, where I'm one author as part of like there's 20 or 30 authors, each one like creates a chapter and they create a book. I don't know what's called, anthology, but that's what they name it. So I'm part of three of those. I should send you the links so you can have them.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, praying mantis crystal skulls. Ah, how can we forget? Hold on. So we all know that everything is consciousness, right?
Right.
I obviously speak to the praying mantis beings. I'm the only one in the world that's cuckoo enough to create mantis crystal skulls, right? So I'm all sold out except for two or three, but I have a new shipment coming in within a few weeks. I'll have it on my website. The eyes are made out of obsidian. The stones are amazing. Like this is smoky quartz. I have lapis lazuli. I have a lot of beautiful stones. Like this is,
Oh,
anyways. Yeah, this is stunning. This is like super, super like expensive because it's high grade like lapis lazuli. I can't sell it unless somebody wants to pay crazy money. Anyways, but this like carver is off the charts. He can carve a tree out of crystal. Like it's not even funny. They're so like meticulous. But the point is, you can speak to these crystals. They can be your assistants for everything, awakening, healing, connecting to your galactic guides. And I always tell my people, you don't need any of those. You are the ultimate crystal. But if you're not there yet to remember you're the creator, these could be permission slips to help you on your path of remembering. They're stunning art too, so it'd be cute on your mantle, on your altar. I have so many of them around me here, it's crazy. I have the biggest crystal skull in the world. It's 25 pounds, not for sale, um, but he's really heavy. He's like the magnificent. This is
oh my
Angola
God.
quartz. The eyes
Wow.
are, I know, they're very powerful. I had a channel like they said, have you spoken to him yet? I'm like, no, I haven't. She's like, he wants you to talk to him and he wants you to name him. So, or her. I don't know. So anyhow. Oh, and one last thing, super cute. And this, so we carved like one up, so like this is fluorite. It's just beautiful stone. So like it was super hard like to make because we carved it inside, which was very difficult to do. So you can light it up.
Ooh, I love it. Oh my
I
gosh.
know this is. Stunning.
Oh.
Um,
So
yeah.
do the mantid beans present in different colors?
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about them. So they actually use like sound vibration, they use color frequencies, and they use light vibration to create their reality. They even color like is intelligence. It's not a
Right.
thing. It's like not an inanimate object. It's a frequency of creation. So yeah, they're and it's really funny because I am colorblind. Like I don't see green, I don't see red, I don't see brown, I don't see like some um, like hues of blues or like purple. I mean, I see a like color, I just don't know the name of it. That's the best way I can describe it to you. And I've taken so many like tests online for like color blindness, and clearly I'm colorblind because I can't see the things. Um, but it's really funny because when I channel and I have my eyes closed and experience things, I know red, I know brown, I know things, I know pink, I know these things. It's just like a knowingness, and I like say it, but then when I come back to my human body, it's like I don't see things. But like they told me clearly, you're not meant to see the world the way quote unquote everyone else like sees it. But how do I know that you're seeing the same color that I'm seeing to begin with?
Right.
There's no proof of that unless I'm in your consciousness to sort of visually see what you're seeing or the rest of the world. We really don't know what we are seeing truly. Um, so it's interesting.
And I have one more question about the mantids.
Sure.
Did they originate or are they associated with a certain planet?
The ones that I connect with are not physical. They are the best way that they described it to me. They're like the idea of the internet. Like
Uh-huh.
there's no like physical thing where the internet is. Like
Right.
what's the internet? There's not a like a tangible thing. They're like that. They're just like intelligence, of consciousness that isn't physical. That's
Right.
just not infiltrated, but is part of everything and is aware of itself as all. But when I connect with them, they come through the Antares. So like there's a planet called Antares.
Right.
I think it's two planets. But like the planet, but what I like connect with is not like the Antares planet, but it's the energetic portal and intelligence of which they kind of come through, or I don't know how to describe it,
Uh-huh.
to allow me to connect like with them. I had a super amazing astrologer that it took me a year and a half to get like an appointment with him. That by the time the appointment came, I totally forgot I had an appointment with him because it was 600 days later or whatever, how many ever days. When we began like speaking, he started laughing. He's like, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna be unconventional with you. I'm not gonna do the horoscope thing with you, like I normally do it like with other people." And he said, do you know what Antares means? I'm like, and I go into my mind, like, yeah, it's a planet, but not a planet. And the mantis come through, da da da. He's like, no, 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 that's not what I mean. I'm like, do you know what it energetically means? I'm like, no. He literally said, I swear to God, it's all recorded. He said, unconditional love. He said,
Oh.
I swear, it's crazy. He said, a frequency of love that humanity is searching for, is needed as part of. I couldn't believe he even said that. Couldn't because I've already been experiencing like that idea. I've never read a book or seen anything about. So it was really, but when you connect with the menses, when you like, when you feel their energy, and we all can channel them like.
Mhm.
I mean, of course, in like this is like for your audience, we all can channel all beings. I'm not special, but on my path this is like relevant for me. So and we're all channels, by the way, guys, right? I don't have spiritual, I don't have a special thing, or don't put me on some pedestal. All of us already channel, actually, we just don't remember that we do. And I also teach like a channeling class, by the way, where we help you remember you are already a channel. It's amazing when people begin to break away from their like limitation of not being able to channel. It's magical, the most magical experiences we've had. And it's all to re-empower you, to remember you are the power. You are
Right.
the God. You get to say how you want to live. You get to change whatever you want to change. You get to interact and experience in whichever that you want to do. It's all about that. So, um, yeah. What
And
else?
you're very busy. And do you have some new things that you're going to be starting off in 2026? You have some.
Yes, 2026 is going to be an expanded year. As you know, I've been over 35 events the past year and a half, a lot. So guys, I sell real estate and I do this. Like when I say I'm busy, I have two businesses. I'm like constantly on the go, but I have a lot of energy. So it's not like, it's kind of cool. So in 2027, I'm going to be on Amazon, um, like Amazon,
You
as
mean
part of
2026 or 2027?
2027.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna be part of like six executive coaches. Like there's a documentary that is being made. We filmed like my portion this past like May in Bali, Indonesia. And there's a few other speakers that they're kind of filming and it's all over the world. So they're kind of getting it together. And it takes a while to create a whole documentary.
Right.
It's not, overnight. So it will be released on Amazon in like 2027. I'll have it on my social media like once I have the like right to begin to like market it. And I'll be like one of six executive coaches. I'm the spiritual crazy like woo-woo guy in dresses and heels at times, just to push the paradigm. By the way,
Right.
I break paradigm, guys,
You're a
visually
bear.
for people.
Yes. I didn't bring that up, but you are a paradigm buster.
And I love it because we all need to break our own like box of
Right.
limitation. Um, I can't share yet because I'm waiting, but I'm gonna be on TV, a very known like network in spirituality. That's all I'm gonna
Mhm.
say. Uh, it's being like filmed in like February, and it'll be aired probably a few months after. I'll also like release it on my social media, so that's huge because that's all about you all know this like TV network,
Oh,
but
yes.
okay, and I think you already okay, but I can't say yet
Yeah.
because I have to kind of I'm also at the LA Conscious Expo in like February. I'm at Sedona Ascension Retreat in like Sedona. I'm at Palm Beach, Florida at the New Life Expo. I'm at the Heart of Oneness in New Jersey. Those are all between like February and then like March.
Wow.
And then a few other events after that I can't remember. I'm part of a lot of online summits. I do summits with other speakers, on Zoom, which is cool and kind of, accessible like for people. What else? Oh, I'm rebranding myself. I signed the contract yesterday. So I'm rebranding myself from a clear way. The reason that I say that is like people ask me like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh my God, like so much I do. I'm everything. And I don't want to like be one thing, but for our mind, I'm like working with an amazing like rebrand advisor to help me rebrand myself for people to understand easier like what I do in a few words, like an elevator pitch of what I do. God, words are so limited, but yet words are so like unlimited. So a new version of me is gonna emerge, a clearer version of me. Honey, I get visions like you. I'm supposed to go to Saudi Arabia, which is crazy to even like think of. I never thought of Saudi Arabia ever. I mean, I'm from the Middle East, I'm Lebanese, so like the Middle East is my thing. But in my mind, it's never been a thing. But the vision was so clear, I need to go there and speak. We're gonna have to like maneuver that in a very interesting way. Maybe Dubai, maybe Abu Dhabi, we'll see. Like the Middle East, I feel like is ready for the next expansion. There's been enough forgetfulness there. There's been enough. The energy is desiring to awaken there. So we'll see how that's gonna unfold. I trust spirit on the way that it happens. What else? I teach channeling classes. I sell praying man's skulls. I speak on stage, author, TV, still sell real estate. I don't know. That's basically it.
Well, it sounds like you're very busy, but you know what? The excitement tells me not only with the being a realtor, but with all of your spiritual work, the
Yeah.
excitement is a clue that you are totally in sync with your higher timeline. Your that excitement always is a sign of higher consciousness coming through.
Thank you for saying. You're activating me in so many ways today. It's insane. That's why I definitely want to have a session with you. Thank you for saying that because Yeah.
Excitement.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean, how can it not be exciting? Like, it's freaking
right.
exciting. I'm always like on cloud nine. I'm a happy person, like overall, but it's exciting. It's creation. But even though I'm very excited, like 99% of the time, there are times where I'm like, I doubt. And I'm not in that state. And
You're,
so I'm real. I'm
you're
human.
human. Yeah.
I'm human. It's not like, I mean, oftentimes I'm like this, which I love and I enjoy it. But there will be times where I'm like, fuck, why is this happening today? I'm like, okay, 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 Tony, come back to consciousness. It's a gift, retweak, but it's
Well, that's wonderful. It's all part of the experience, right? I cannot tell you how wonderful this has been for me personally. And I know you're so busy, but I'm going to have to see about getting a session with you as well.
totally. I mean, we'll trade. We'll do a trade.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
That would
I
be
love
amazing.
you. I am so um, grateful that you're here on the planet at this time doing what you're doing because it's needed. And the fact that it's taken up so quickly really shows you, it gives you the feedback of how it's just being absorbed, and picked up and just needed. So I'm grateful for you, Toni.
Thank you for saying that. My ego needed to hear that because my ego needs to ascend in consciousness and we need to expand it into. No, thank you for saying that because it's been a journey, very accelerated journey. I'm like, what did I do last year? And there's always doubt. Like, did I need to do all those events? I need to spend because it's a lot of it's spending a lot of money, by the way, on these events.
Right.
It's not, like, but now it's all coming together. But I want to leave a message
Good.
for like the pub for like your audience.
Okay.
We've been so conditioned, all of us, to like view other people
Mm.
and put them on pedestals or here or there and compare and contrast and devalue the self. I'm talking to you. Your voice, what you see in me or what you see in April, what you see in Bashar, and whoever is on your path of, oh, he's more ascended than me. No one is more ascended than the next person. All of us are ascended masters, remembering again of how more ascended we actually are. But your voice, your frequency, your lens, your life, your story, every experience you had, every feeling you've experienced, the good, the should, the would, the positive, the negative, all of it, your whole story. The Mantis like said, imagine yourself writing a book about your life, however old you are now, from the point you were conceived to this age,
Mhm.
writing every microsecond of your existence, everything that happened, every emotion, every wish, every desire, every fuck up, everything, and begin seeing all of it as value. Begin seeing all of it as creation. When you begin judging yourself less and hopefully not at all, is where you begin to hear and listen the voice of your soul, because your facet, the way you are created, the sacred geometry that you are, the story that you had, is literally the only story that you can ever have within the infinite. That's how valuable and precious you are. So speak your mind, speak your truth, speak your heart. Trust your vision. Trust the way you see. The whole fucking planet could see one thing. You could be seeing something completely different.
Right.
Speak it out. Act it out. Love it. Profess it. Because that is your lens. Is needed for God itself to experience itself through you.
Mhm.
None of our pieces will ever fit together. My piece will never be April. April will never be her mom or dad or her cousin or her audience. None of us, each of our facets are unique that will complete God one day for it to realize it's God. But if you're trying to live someone else's life and trying to be like me or April or your neighbor or your boss or I don't know what else, and you suppress, 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 deep forgetfulness, eventually you'll remember. You want to take the long, abridged version? Go ahead. Creation will support you on that. But if you want the accelerated version, start stepping outside of the bounds of society of your fear. Fears are the most amazing messengers ever. Every time you're terrified, know that on the other side, there's that power of God. That's why you're terrified, because there's a power of God on the other side. And you will release and be free. All of us are trying to be free us. I'm taking voice lessons, by the way, not because I aspire to be a singer. I don't have a voice lesson, but I want to hear the soul, the voice of my soul. Every week, like he's an amazing like coach. They teach Hollywood people or whatever, which you see on Instagram. I mean, we all can have access to them. Literally, I'm just doing it because I want to hear the sound of my soul. One day I woke up, I'm like, you know what? What does my soul sound like? I'm gonna take some voice lessons and learn how to open my mouth and do these things, and it's work. It's homework. You do stuff, but just for fun. And I love dancing. I've always loved dancing. Even like in college, I wanted to take like a dance lesson in a class, but I'm like, no, I can't because my parents expect me to be an engineer, and I'm Arab and I'm male and all that fucking bullshit. Never taken a dance class. Now when I'm dancing on my own at like at the gym this morning, I like go to like where they do like yoga, and I'm listening to my headphones and I'm dancing like wild, just free, sexual, erotic, non-erotic, whatever. Who fucking cares? Like the point is allow energy to flow in whichever way. Singing, dancing, being by the water, swimming, art, I don't know, creating clothes, job, like whatever your soul desires, do not suppress anymore. Because when you allow it to speak through you, however it looks, it begins to unlock more of who you are. And no one within the infinite can speak your voice or your lens except you. So don't rob humanity from seeing your beauty. Don't rob God and consciousness from fully seeing itself through you. Comparing yourself to others, out of your mind. You're
Yeah.
actually out of your mind to compare yourself to others. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Anyhow, I'm being funny. So that's my
uh,
message.
I will I will share a story that I was
Sure.
given about comparing, but
Yes.
I know we're kind of running long on your morning or your
I'm okay.
afternoon here.
Yeah.
Um, uh, some years ago, I was sitting on the couch and I had just seen this video by this woman who's a grid worker, a master grid worker. And I swear some of the grid working concepts just go completely over my head. And I was judging myself, thinking, why is this like a foreign language to me?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, my higher consciousness plucked me out of my body, and I was immediately in the oneness of the creator. I was a unique fractal, but part of the whole. And I was shown how, when at this one particular time in our evolution, there were streams of our consciousness that came down from this. Visually, it kind of looked like a white cloud I was in, but there were streams of consciousness that went down, many of them, and they were archetypical energies. And my soul, without thinking about it, just was magnetized into this one stream of consciousness, which is ambassador. And I was, you're not told, you just give that, you're given the information. And the information was is that I would explore every aspect, good and bad, of an ambassador in all its forms, as not only learning about that for myself, but as a gift to the whole, and all the other aspects of the creator that were magnetized in along with me into the ambassador archetypical stream or into the other streams, like that in particular, that woman went into a different stream.
Yeah.
um, we're all so unique. It would be like comparing apples and oranges, and yet we're all just as valuable to the whole.
Totally. 1000%. 1000%. And the more you suppress yourself from being that facet, sounding, creating, experiencing, seeing, literally the more you, with no judgment, because they're saying, don't judge Tony, with no judgment, you just decelerate your awakening that you are part of the whole. That's it. You get to choose. You can either take eons and eons and eons to remember, or you can accelerate a little bit by one less eon. So no, you know, so it's up to you. All of it, because look, eventually we're gonna get to self. Eventually we're gonna realize. Eventually. So it's all beautiful. It's all amazing. That's funny that you said you don't understand like grid work, because with me, like horoscope, like you have no idea how many friends I have that understand horoscope and sunrise this and moon this.
And I don't either.
Oh my
It's
God.
a
And
different language.
so many people have told me my rise and whatever it is. So many. And I've had so many readings, and like, it's just not part of, like, I had to surrender. It's okay. I don't need to understand horoscope. And people ask me what moon rising, I have no idea. And I've been told 1,000 times. It's just not for me, this path. And it's okay.
It's okay. We all just have a certain archetypical energy that we're
Yeah,
exploring to contribute to the whole.
totally.
I
Totally.
love you,
I
and
love you
I'm
too,
so
honey.
grateful for you. And I hope
Yes.
that we can do this again.
1,000%. Before we end, the free gift for your peeps.
Oh,
So on what did we say? January the 8th?
yeah.
On January the 8th, which is like a Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern time, so we can give time for our West Coast people to be there. For 2 hours, I'm gonna channel the mantises like for you guys for free. And you get to ask questions. So bring your questions, they'll connect with you. It will be recorded, so if you can't make it, we'll send you the recording. It'll be cool if you're there, because obviously you get to ask your question. The link that April like will share with you, you click on it, you enter first name, last name, and then like you email, and I'll send you the Zoom link so you can join on January 8th, Thursday for the new year. Small free gift for the
Wonderful.
princess.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
You're welcome,
Yes,
honey.
your contact information and that link will be below, or the link will be below.
Yes, the link will be below,
Oh, okay.
like to sign up for it. And you already have my website if people want to
Okay.
reach out. All my social media is there, booking things are there and everything.
You have a fabulous day. Love you,
I
and we
love you,
will
honey.
speak soon.
Okay, my love. Have an
All right.
amazing, amazing, magical day.
All
Mwah.
righty.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye, sweetheart.